Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Poppies fans, wherever you may be. It is the Emirates FA Cup second qualifying round replay between Sutton, Coldfield Town and Kettering Town. The Poppies, 1-1 it was at Latimer Park, and I'm joined by Paul Cook. Paul, how are we?
Absolutely average. Yourself, Ed? What's going on in your right hand side?
Peter Short is dancing to McFly.
Make sure you take a photo of that. We can bribe him for the rest of his life.
It's all about me, apparently, is
right.
what I'm being told. With my hyphenated surname. Anyway, we have got team news to bring to you, and I will let Paul do that as I bring it up onto the screen.
In goal for Kettering Town is captain tonight for Paul White. Number 2, Gary Storer. 3, James Brighton. 4 is Connor Kennedy. 5, Luke Graham. 6, Sam Cartwright. 7, Lyndon Meikle. 8, Aaron O'Connor. 9, Daniel Enty. 10, Ben Mills. And 11, Marcus Kelly. Your subs today for Kettering are 12, Jarvan Vidal. 14, Brett Solkin. 15, Joel Carter. 16, Elliot Hodge. 17, Mo Seba. And 18, Alex Nimley. It looks like that Joe Scars didn't survive after that horrendous tackle on Saturday, so he misses out tonight here at Coles Lane. It is going to be an interesting one tonight. There's going to be a result, obviously, either way, but Kettering haven't won away from home, and Sutton Coldfield haven't won a game at home either, so that sequence is going to be broken tonight, Ed.
Well, it's going to be 0-0 after 90 minutes, and it'll go down in the record books as a draw.
Well, thank you so much.
No problem. I just don't want extra time. I don't think Kettering want extra time either. They've got a tough game on Saturday. It's a long journey. It's a good team. And Kettering will need as many fresh legs as they can muster.
Well, McGrath should be back on the Saturday against Hereford. He's currently cup-tied, so he should be back into the starting lineup. Brett Solkin, we know, is quite susceptible to the rigours of 3-4G surfaces, and so he's only starting in the substitutes bench tonight. The home side filled up like this. In goal once again is Lewis Gwilliams. Ben George is 2. Aris Christopho is 3. Joseph Hassel is 4. Captain James Munton 5. 6 is James Berryford. 7 Chindo Okoro. 8 is D. San Martin. 9 Isa Marseille. 10 Reece Leake. And 11 Edwin Ancora. 12 is Ryan Shaw, 14 Cameron Healy, 15 Rhys Gibson, 16 Joel Powney, 17 reserve goalkeeper James Harrison, and 18 Romario Rose. And the referee tonight is Mr. John Kenny.
Do appreciate your pronunciations of some of those names, Paul. It was sketchy.
Very sketchy.
Very sketchy. But we are currently, well, about 5 minutes away from kick-off, actually. We will be expecting the teams out very shortly, I'd imagine. And I can't see, just because the tunnel is directly underneath us. If you've never been here, we'll just describe the ground to you. We are in this main stand, which runs sort of over the middle third of the pitch. There is a small seated stand with about 5 seats in it to our left. In the corner, then the car park behind the goal, which is netted, and then over in the far corner from where we look, far left, is the Bernard Bent stand, which has got about 5 rows of seating in it. Nice little stand there. Then open-aired standing all the way around the other sides of the ground. It is a 4G pitch with netting behind both goals to prevent the balls going too far, although with some of the shooting on display recently, I'd imagine those are going to be worked overtime and probably completely bypassed. Gary Foreman, who very kindly drove us up here, has parked his car right behind the goal, so he's trusting the ability of those net.
He's quite safe behind the goal, isn't he? So
to be honest, he'd probably be safer if we put it in front of the goal.
Well, we have been here before, I remember. We were here when we played Romulus, although that time we couldn't broadcast. We got no signal. We won that one 3-0 in 2017-18. So it is a revisit for us, and we'll be playing in our red and black. And of course, if you went to the game on Saturday, you'll know that Sutton Coldfield Town play in all blue. They're known as the Royals, and very sparse crowd indeed. Can't see the band. We made such an impact at Latimer Park on Saturday. There is a collection of bods behind the goal over there on my right-hand side. Can't see the keyboards, drum and guitar of Saturday, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. few Poppers fans have made the trip the hour and 10 minutes from Kettering. And, well, interesting to see on the subs bench, Ed, a name we haven't seen too much of recently is Alex Nimley's on there.
He is. I've been almost waiting for him to make some kind of impact.
Well, last time was Barwell, wasn't it?
Well, it was, yeah, and hopefully we're going to be able to see some of what he is capable of if he comes on. If he comes on being the operative word, of course. But he is amongst the substitutes. Jarvan Vidal there as well. Carter, Hodge, Mo Seba. It's a strong bench.
Well, certainly when Carter and Hodge came on Saturday, they made quite an impression, and really Kettering had 30 shots to Sutton Coldfield's 4, according to the stats on Saturday, but just couldn't finish the job. Of course, missing a penalty doesn't really help. That's 4 penalties that NT has taken so far this season, scoring 2 and missing 2, all been at Latimer Park, and both the misses have been at the Tin Hat. Very, very strange.
Well, there we are. Don't get penalties in the second half.
Or
very simple.
Tin Hat.
Yes.
But,
still no sign of the players. Oh no, commentator's curse. Out they come onto the pitch, led by, as you said, referee Mr. John Kenny, and captains Paul White and James Mutton.
First time that we've had a captain goalkeeper since Lee Harper's days, who we're talking about on the way down here, I'd have thought.
Oh really? Yes, I must. I can't think of any.
No, I can't think of anybody else who's been a captain that's been a goalkeeper except Lee Harper in recent years. Whitey taking over that as Solkin is on the bench, and Nathan Abbey, not sure on that one, but certainly Lee Harper was.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Well, he was manager as well. So,
but
as you said, Kettering in red and black, and Sutton Coldfield Town in their blue with white trim, blue shorts and blue socks. Paul White in a lime green kit. I think
yes,
green.
it is. It's rather lime green. Can't see
Sutton's goalkeeper is non-existent.
Yeah, he's invisible. So
well,
that's
they
going to
can't
be
start
interesting.
without him, can they? Where actually?
Here he comes. He's
coming
coming out now. He's in a grey number.
I really did panic for a second.
Williams, of course, who saved that penalty in the second half at the Tin Hat from NT, and pulled off quite a few good stops and blocks from Kettering's approach on Saturday. Very, very sparse crowd. I wouldn't like to guess the gate, but certainly is only going to break 3 figures, I would think.
Not great, is it?
Low 3 figures, I would think. Here, this game is being filmed, so hopefully we can try and crib some footage later for our highlights package. We will try and interview one of the managerial team after the game. Paul White has gone back to his goal. Kettering kicking from right to left. And it's going to be Encora, the Sutton Coldfield number 11, is going to get the game underway. It is almost time, Ed, to start here. I make it 1:45. And we have got a few cries of "Come on, Sutton." And a few red and black scarves are around the ground. The refreshment area doing well over there on our right hand side, and we're off. This ball straight to Brighton. Brighton plays it back to Paul White, gets his first touch and kicked that out of play straight away. So
we can't blame it on a bobble.
Can't blame that because it is done. At least it's flat.
At least it's flat, yeah.
At least it's flat. So let's see what we can do on a flat surface.
Throw in then. It's the number 2, Ben George. Looking for an option. Goes down the line. Brought down. Handball shout. Nothing given. Nothing really there anyway. And away come Sutton Coldfield back with the 2. Crossfield pass. He's found the number of the player on the far side perfectly. And there's a shot, early shot. Spooned behind though. But I'm not too sure how the player on the far side was given as much space as he was to bring the ball down. Paul White collects it in his hand.
Rather similar to the goal we conceded on Saturday. There was a lot of space and he rammed it home, but this time it just went wide.
Paul White then changes the side that he's going to take the goal kick from. He takes it from the side closest to us. Kicks long, better kick from him, looking for NT. NT flicks the ball onto O'Connor. O'Connor, good touch, can't get past the number 5 though, which is Mutton, the captain. And then it's cleared away long. That's going to be too long. Storer should deal with this. Lets it bounce once. Brings it down on his chest. Plays it back to Paul White, who has to kick first time because Ancora was charging him down. Headed back again and then cleared by Gary Storer. Should be goalkeepers, although it's going to hold up, and a header back, and O'Connor's in. Oh, well, it was good header back eventually by the Sutton Coldfield man. O'Connor was waiting. If he'd mucked it up, he didn't, and the kick high has come off the head of Luke Graham and out for a throw-in for Sutton Coldfield Town halfway inside Kettering's half.
Luke Graham coming in for Joe Scars, who took that injury on Saturday, as O'Connor can't get to the ball. Nor can empty, and the ball is going to go back to goalkeeper Gwillams. Comes out, delivers it. It's a long kick that should meet Paul White. White's come out though, and Luke Graham's had to give it to Cartwright, who's got rid of it, to Ben Mills. Mills has to play it back to Brighton on this right side here. He finds Kelly. Kelly back to Brighton. Brighton plays it to Mills. He turns, switches it to the far side, but that's going to be cut out by Ancora, which it is. It is with Mutton back to Ben George. He plays it to Martin. And Kettering interception, but Martin wins the ball there. It's good work from him. Good work by Luke Graham. Only passes the ball though to Leake. Reese Leake going down this right hand side. He's taking on Brighton. He's down by the byline. Comes inside the penalty area here. Danger here for Kettering. And a poor ball really with a long range shot may come in. It hasn't. And really Sutton Coldfield should have done better with that chance. It's Ben George though, still with the ball, putting the poppies under pressure. He almost fell down there. Plays the ball back to Martin. He finds Christophou. And cleared by Cartwright, but only given away back to Ben George. Lively start here from Sutton Coldfield. Still the hosts in possession. In comes George. Brighton robs him from it and puts it out by the corner flag for a throw-in. Early doors, so Sutton look wound up for this one.
They do. They've certainly been fired up by the management staff. And it's usually Kettering play Leake at some point in the FA competitions. They've got to face Reese Leake, who made all the issues in that attack. Throw in taken, now it's Leake again, cut out. He'll have another chance to do something with it. This time he clips it in, headed up and not really away, and Ancora's underneath it, heads it back out to the number 2, and that lofted ball in should be headed away. It isn't. Miscontrol, and now Ancora. Good block, and Kettering will bring it away with Ben Milnes. Milnes plays to O'Connor, traps it. He's got no options though, plays it into Milnes, he's got a man on him. Turns and plays it to Marcus Kelly. They do look the same from a distance, but there's no excuse because Marcus Kelly was about 20 yards away from me. Graham now looks forward, hits long, looking for, that will be Lyndon Meikle, and he's going to find him as well. And Lyndon Meikle's absolutely put the number 3 on his backside, and there's a chance here, lays it back. Aaron O'Connor has put the ball wide from less than 4 yards.
Well, Enty screaming for it. He had it equally as a good chance. It was only about 5 yards out there. How O'Connor missed that is unbelievable. I mean, it was a lovely run there from Meikle. Split the defence wide open on the byline, fed it into the 6-yard box. Then he touched and it was in, but somehow it wasn't.
No, I mean, the skill from Lyndon Meikle, the number 3, Aris Christophorou, is going to be living that one in his nightmares, I think, because he's absolutely skinned him. But how Aaron O'Connor's not put that through, I do not understand. Connor Kennedy's taken a little bit of a knock, nothing going. Away come Sutton Coldfield. Brighton puts it out of play for a throw-in, taken quickly by Leake to Ancora. Ancora now turns back, needs an option. He's got Cartwright in attendance, back to George, the number 2. Good ball in, cleared away though, and Enty should hold it up. There's a poor touch from him and he's lost the ball. And it's back with Ancora. Ancora to Leake, or is it the 8? Oh, no communication between the two of them, between Leake and Deshaun Martin. That should have been better with that, but they got in each other's way. It's a throw in again for Sutton Coldfield Town again. Taken, back to the throw in taker, that's George. George into Ancora. Ancora's got a chance. He does shoot. Deflected. Well, not deflected, but thwacked off Sean Cartwright. Who's that? Sam Cartwright.
Sam Cartwright.
Who's Sean Cartwright?
No, Sam.
Yep. Out of play for another throw in.
I thought we'd sign somebody else then.
Throw in taken. Back to George again, the throw in taker. Deflections. He's going to get it back a third time. Now it's with the 4. That's Housel. Housel all the way back to his captain. O'Connor's putting some pressure on, and he's going to have fouled him. But pressure temporarily off Kettering's back line. In fact, it wasn't the captain, it was the number 6, James Beresford. Still not taking the free kick. Sutton Coldfield want to get on with it a little bit quicker than Beresford is actually taking it. And George has been brought all the way back to take this one, the right back.
And certainly the hosts that are having all the motion at the moment towards Kettering's goal.
Just to make things even more awkward, we've got Kelly and Meikle who play on opposite wings who look exactly the same. Sutton Coldfield have got Ancora and Okoro who play on opposite wings who look exactly the same as well. So this could be interesting. Poor clearance, George brings it down, cut out by Milnes. Milnes flicks through to Dan Enty. Enty looking for an option, plays to Gary Storer. Gary Storer's got the run of Meikle if he uses him. He does, gets there, traps the ball. Looking for options now, Meikle plays it into Connor Kennedy. Kennedy with a lot of space here, but no real options. Plays it back out to Meikle. It's giving him a lot to do there, Kennedy, with that pass. And Meikle glancing over to him, saying, give us a chance with it. It was fizzed into him. Throw in for Sutton Coldfield. Back to the throw and taker, cleared away. Poor clearance, caught out by Lyndon Meikle. Meikle, cross in, O'Connor, over him. Kelly's at the back post though. No one tracked him. Kelly into the edge of the box for Milnes. Milnes takes a touch, shoots left-footed, flashes it past the post. Deflected though, so it will be a corner. Just wondering whether Ben Milnes probably could have taken that first time, actually letting it come across his body. It's a difficult skill, but I'm sure it's one he's got in his locker rather than trapping it and bringing it back onto his weaker foot.
It's going to be Mills to take this corner. It comes in towards the back post, headed out towards the number 7. Okoro gets the ball away, but only to Ben Mills, who races down to collect it. Ben Mills wants to keep the pressure on the Sutton defence. He floats one in towards Kennedy, but it's headed out by the Royals defence over to Marcelo, who scored that opening goal on Saturday. He's brushed off the challenge of Meikle, floats the ball in, but there's Brighton in the centre of the park. Now he's going forward, still Brighton. Gives it to Enty. Enty, heavy touch though, does well. Gets it back to Connor Kennedy. Kennedy over the far side to Storer. Storer low towards Enty. Enty again under pressure. Gets it to Meikle. Meikle puts one in to Aaron O'Connor to chase. There's a bit of a ricochet here. And the number 6 there, Beresford, did well to stop Mills having an opportunist strike at target. The ball though with Ancora in Kettering's half on the far side. He pumps it in, but there's Luke Graham back in the centre of defence to put the ball almost out of the ground.
Yep, netting on the far side has kept that one in. And a throw in. Yeah. We'll just evening from Isle of Wight GC. Jason Hawthorne. Evening Paul and crew going 2-0 win tonight. That's exactly what I said in the card down, wasn't it? Andrew Eady, let's hope we get to the next stage. As the throwing comes in, headed out and cleared away. Ariana Grande's triplets. It's a great name. Boston next round if we win tonight. Yep, if we win tonight, that's the main thing. Not a bad ball. That's a great ball from Marcus Kelly. He's found Meikle who can't bring it down. It's
the bounce didn't help there, did it really? I think on that, but he's got the ball back to Storer. And headed out by the Roars. That should go for a throw-in.
Yeah, not a bad ball that at all from Marcus Kelly. Just Meikle misread the bounce off the surface. Milnes gets it back from Storer, plays it through 20, who leaves it and then flicked round the corner to Storer. Goal! There it is, 1-0. Gary Storer, wonderful play from him. And good play in the middle as well from Enty and O'Connor. It was Storer that started it with the throw-in, and he was involved in every part of that attack. He threw it, got it back, gave it back to Ben Milnes, and then on he went. Milnes punched it into Enty. Enty had the whereabouts to dummy it, flicked around the corner from O'Connor, and Storer, who'd continued his run, took a couple of touches, rode a challenge, and then fired it low into the far corner. It is Sutton Coldfield Town 0, Kettering Town 1.
Goal scored exactly the same time that Sutton Coldfield scored their opening goal at Lanton Park on Saturday on the 11 minutes. So Kettering taking the advantage, and very good work by Gary Storer. And that is Gary Storer's first goal of the season in any competition. And a welcome one it was, but it is Martin gets the ball to Okoro on the far side, who's taking on Store, the goal scorer. Pushed him in the back, and that goes out. It's a foul. And on Storer.
Just too much. Yep, as a lot of people are pointing out, goal number 891.
Yes, 8-9-1 and 12 ahead of Spurs.
Oh, what a shame.
Can you say Spurs?
Well, I can't, but what a shame they're not doing as well as we'd hoped. Anyway, Paul White takes the free kick long. NT wins the flick on O'Connor, brings it down. He'll try and flick it out to Kelly, which he does. Kelly onto his left foot, shoots, deflection. Oh, he's just taken it past the post. Goalkeeper was rooted from that deflection. Nothing he could have done about it.
We're in the ideal place for that, seeing that almost swerve in. It just swerved away at the last moment. It was a good strike from Kelly. Kettering fired up by that goal, and let's hope this could be a goal fest for the men in red and black.
Wicked deflection, though. It would have been harsh on the goalkeeper, because there would have been nothing he could have done about it. But corner it will be, and Kelly is who's gone over to take it. Corner comes in. Headed. Oh, it's away. O'Connor lays it off to Meikle. Good touch from Meikle. Shoots, deflected. Comes back to O'Connor. O'Connor shoots across goal. Oh, it's misheaded by Sam Cartwright. I mean, let's be honest. It was a shot from O'Connor, and Cartwright would have had to do incredibly well to get something on it.
It was going at some pace, Ed, wasn't it? Like an Exocet missile. He got something on it, and you wouldn't know much about it after the ball gone in, but it didn't. It veered off his Toblerone head and went just out of play. But
I don't know what part of that is it, but it's not his head. I can tell you now. Oh yeah, no, he's holding his face. It's come off his nose. It's one of those where he's just put his head down and hoped it's come off his head. But yeah, no. Let's be honest. It was a shot from O'Connor that was wayward, and Cartwright would have done exceptionally well to have got on the end of that. Although here come Sutton Coldfield again, and Cartwright's been done by Ancora. Good challenge from Graham, though. Graham, poor pass from Cartwright, and Kelly's been sold short. And ball in. Oh, it's not really dealt with. And eventually, Meikle brings it away to Ben Milnes. Ben Milnes tries to set O'Connor away. He's going to chase with the number 6 and forces James Berriford to put it out of play for a throw-in. Kettering are just starting to come back into this game. Let's be honest, the first 7 minutes or so were all Sutton Coldfield Town. They came out at blistering pace.
They did. It looked like an onslaught for the home side, but Kettering have repelled that and gone ahead with a super goal from Gary Store. As I say, this is being filmed, so hopefully you might be able to see something of this later on in the week. We shall see, but it is O'Connor, but he gives the ball away, but there's Conor Kennedy, flicks it through. It's headed out by the Sutton defence. Kennedy retrieves the ball, gets it to Kelly. Brighton's overlapping. The ball is now with Brighton. He's outside the penalty area, left-footed, puts one in, it comes low, and NT gets a header in and just goes high and wide of Lewis Gwillem's goalmouth. 1-0 to the Poppies. 15 minutes we're into.
And Kettering have had some good chances actually in this game since that first goal to make it at least 2-0. But nothing taken, and that kick is long. Not really dealt with. Storer manages to get there, and Milnes doesn't clear either. And there's a chance here for Okoro. Okoro now puts it in low. Poor pass, and Kennedy clears high and long. And I wonder whether some pressure could have been put on there by NT, but he chose not to. Kelly nicks it off the foot of George, and then the clearance is long. Cartwright comes through, gets the challenge in, and that ball through is going to go straight through to Paul White.
I think also, Ed, fitness levels are going to come into this at some point tonight. After Saturday, Sutton Coldfield all collapsed at the end of the final whistle while Kettering just trooped off. And it took a lot out of him, I think, the Saturday game. So I think stamina and...
Well, talking of that, the best thing Kettering can do is be 2, 3, even 4 up at half-time, and then they can start looking at resting players for
Hereford on.
For Hereford. But header from Luke Graham. Kettering have got a job to do. NT's been brought down. Looked for an advantage, but Kennedy couldn't get there before Joseph Hulsell, and it is going to be a free kick. Liam Walazek, sorry, poor pronunciation, I know. Where's the Sutton band? He says, not here tonight. Maybe it might be something to do with music after hours, maybe.
Probably still at school.
Live music. Free kick taken quickly to Storer, the goal scorer. NT step overs back to Ben Milnes.
Is that it for the night?
Yeah, that's it. And that is too high for someone of Marcus Kelly's stature, and it bounces off the top of his head for a throw-in for Sutton Coldfield Town. Throw-in to be taken by Ben George. Quite lucky that the majority of the players come on this near side, or unlucky that the goal came from play on the other side, of course. That'll be it's a Sutton Coldfield Town throw-in. James Brighton just asking the question to the linesman there. Seems to accept his fate, though. Kick taken long by Martin, looking for Chinedu Okoro. Blocked by Gary Storer, out for a throw-in on that far side. A lot of throw-ins so far today. But throw-in taken to, I think that's Nkoro, who's come all the way across to deal with it. It's gone out of play, though, from him.
Nkoro and Okoro do look very similar, don't they, with those haircuts and style of play.
It is, yes, and it's like our Kelly Meikle situation, isn't it?
Yeah, and Brighton and Storer with the beards.
Yes, of course.
There we are. If you just joined us, you're listening to Poppy's TV Audio, sponsored by Elgood's Brewery. Yes, traditional ales from Wisbech, Cambridgeshire, available in the clubhouse. But it is
not available on Poppy's TV, though, as here comes Sutton Coldfield. Shot! Oh, good save, Paul White. Great save, Paul White. It was a rip-roar of a shot from Reece Leake. I mean, it was fairly central, but the power on it forced Paul White into a good save.
A diving athletic save, tipping the ball over the bar, so it's going to be a corner to the home side. Proves that they're not here to make up any numbers whatsoever and want to get through to meet Boston in the next round themselves, which will be played here, of course, at Coles Lane, should they win. But Kettering will have other ideas on that one. And the corner to be taken by Okoro. It comes in, a free header, and that just goes over. That came from Mutton, the captain. And really, there was no challenge on him, Ed. And if that had just been a foot lower, that's in.
There's a post-mortem going on in that Kettering defence already, saying whose man was it, who'd picked him up, and looks like they've all determined that out. And I'm sure a cry of "don't do it again" has been given from Luke Graham. It's an interesting decision to give Paul White the captaincy when Luke Graham is playing, but he's done a sterling job, Paul White, for Kettering Town. And I'm sure it's well deserved.
He's certainly very passionate about the club, and he always gives his all. He's very critical about his own performances when he makes mistakes. And the number 3 is in a lot of bother here, and Meikle's managed to rob the ball from him in a dangerous area. Ben Milnes looking for an option. He doesn't really have anything. Comes out to James Brighton. The ball was behind him. His momentum stopped, but he's found Dan Enty. Enty has to look for an option. Twisting, turning, does well. Plays the ball through. Connor Kennedy to Gary Storer, arriving on the far side. Storer punches it into O'Connor. O'Connor flicks it through to Kelly, but it's cleared by Beresford. And that's going to be a foul. And Kennedy accepts it, but it's an advantage given. And the advantage was used, but not to effect. And Kettering will carry on the play. Sutton not happy with that in the end, but they lost out, and the ball's come through. Meikle's onside, but he won't get that. It's too pacey on this surface. Skids into Lewis Gwilliams. And Meikle returning back to his trap.
Always nice to hear from Weymouth Poppy. Let's get it done second time round, he says. So, well, we're going to have to. I don't think there's going to be a third time round. And we certainly didn't get it done first time round on Saturday, from all accounts. As Enty was offside, and he knew he was offside. And
pirouette, wasn't it? With the ball, it was lovely.
VAR on that one. Meikle brings it into O'Connor. O'Connor to Ben Milnes. Meikle has the ball flicked off his boot by Aris Christoforou.
It's a great name, isn't it?
It's a fantastic name.
I think he comes from Wolverhampton. You know.
Does he? Originally?
Originally, yeah.
A long line of
the
Black Country.
Locals.
Yeah,
okay. Nothing to do with anything in Greek, as
Kelly doing really well, right-footed. That is why Marcus Kelly probably shouldn't shoot with his right foot.
Yeah, almost took out the spectator over there, didn't it? Had been cricket, that'd have been saying, why didn't he catch it?
Well, yes. Of course, I'm only joking, Marcus. Keep doing it, but next time, just get a little bit further on target. So a goal kick for Sutton Coldfield Town. 21 minutes gone.
Surprisingly, this game being on Tamworth, which is only, about 10 miles away from here, the game was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch.
Yes, it was, yeah.
So this game obviously survived the downpour in the West Midlands, as Meikle wins the first challenge and the second challenge. He should be able to keep it in. He does right on the byline.
No, he's let it go for its Kettering throw-in. She leaves for Storer. Storer throws back to Luke Graham. Graham then hits long, looking for O'Connor. Enty. Apologies. Headed out and eventually cleared by Christopher. No, it's not. It's charged down by O'Connor and it stayed in play. And he's completely misread the spin on the pitch. And it's bounced over his head and out for a throw-in. High clearance. Can't see that because of the roof of the stand that comes down. Ben Milnes was clattered. Referee says nothing about it. Shouts from Kettering players. And that was a push. That one was more obvious. And a free kick will be given this time. Same too, it was Ben Milnes and the Sutton Coldfield player, who I can't see until he turns on. I think it's Isai Masaya.
Number 9. So
yep. But this time it is a free kick because of the extended arm. Kelly wants to take that free kick quickly. He won't. He'll wait for the centre halves to get up. And it's going to be swung in, curling in towards the goalkeeper, left-footed, halfway inside the Sutton Coldfield half. And it comes, header, brought down by O'Connor. O'Connor back out to Kelly. Kelly may want to shoot on his left foot here. No, he puts it back to O'Connor. O'Connor, it was sort of a miscontrol and he's in a bit of trouble now. O'Connor manages to find Kelly and Sutton Coldfield will push out now. Well, that's not a bad ball in. Graham with the header. No, Cartwright there, deflecting off everyone. It's a corner ball.
Yeah, good work there from the Kettering centre-backs. Luke Graham with a nosebleed being right up there in the 6-yard box, and Cartwright getting the second touch.
What was the record he broke? Longest time between goals, or was it second? Was it second longest time between?
Second
goals?
Longest time
that
between goals. Yeah.
Sure, that's a fantastic record that he'll
display
in a certificate at home. Kelly.
We'll print out for him.
Kelly, deep corner. Graham heads it back across goal. No one there. Graham puts it back across goal again, but Kennedy has, I think he pulled the shirt of the Sutton Coldfield player, which was spotted by the referee. Free kick given.
If you're just joining us, it's Sutton Coldfield 0, Kettering Town 1. The all-important goal scored by Gary Storer on 11 minutes. Kettering had much of the play since then after the initial burst by Sutton Coldfield's first 7 minutes. And the ball back into Kettering's half to Nkora, who can't get the ball, but then Brighton with a sand wedge sort of hooks the ball up. Meikle's trying to win it back for Kettering. There's a bit of a melee going on down here. Meikle does well, does get it to Ben Milnes. Milnes flicks it through though, and that goes nowhere.
Well, tactic watch now. Meikle and Kelly have switched wings.
That should please you then, so that you can get it wrong still.
Yeah, it just means that I've got more of an excuse to get it wrong now.
Don't forget, on Friday, October the 11th in the clubhouse, it's a Legends Night at Latimer Park. £10 to see Sean Suddard's, Gordon Livesey and Jim Conn. Tickets available behind the bar. Gary Graham will release your wallets with as much money as possible if you want to see him to buy some tickets. But it is the number 9 Marseille who goes down. It's a Kettering Town throw-in. On our right-hand side.
I hear a tambourine. Part of the band are here.
Well, the tambourine is the percussion here, aren't they? But without the drummer. But it is O'Connor. The throw to Kettering. Enty's got the ball. He's going to leave that for Brighton. Brighton on our left-hand side, midway in the Sutton Coldfield half. Not a lot on for him at the moment. Enty wants it, hasn't got it. Gets the ball to Meikle, turns. Still Meikle, switches it over the far side to Kelly if he can get there. It's a beautiful ball. He chests it down here. Kelly goes outside, feeds it through to Conor Kennedy, but good tackle there by the number 8 Martin, who deemed to have been fouled by Kennedy.
Yeah,
Play brought back. A little late touch, wasn't it?
Yeah, only a little clip. Just didn't get there. Didn't get there in time. Great pass. Great pass it was from
Superb.
Lyndon Meikle anyway. And Kelly as well with his second touch. Just stopped the ball and turned on the dime. Couldn't find the pass to Kennedy. Storer will clear. Enty, heavy touch, and he's going to lose the ball and he's going to potentially foul. He didn't. Sutton Coldfield bring the ball away again. Lofted out to the 10 Leak. Good touch from him. Got Brighton in attendance. Good work this from Sutton Coldfield Town now. Bit of time on the ball. Good interplay. Now it's George. George puts it in low. Cleared away by Luke Graham. Out for throwing. Sean Tailby, are we above Villa and Spurs in goals still? Yes, 12 clear of Spurs.
And feels close of Villa. It's only Spurs that anywhere near us. Actually, it's Arsenal. No, it's not Arsenal. It's Manchester United that are in third place. Paul White catches this, and it goes Kettering Town. It goes Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United, Aston Villa, and away comes the sprinting.
Oh, look at the space!
Yeah, look at this. It's Storer flicks the ball through O'Connor.
Oh.
O'Connor.
It was Enty.
It's Enty, and after that beautiful run from Storer, Enty couldn't control that.
Well, no, it was a poor pass from Storer.
Hit the imaginary bobble that.
Oh yeah, it's totally a bobble.
Yeah, so.
I mean, this pitch is full of them.
Will always be above Villa.
Well, who aren't these days?
Ooh.
And cue Villa fans hating me on Twitter for the next week. Kennedy wins the header. Kelly, they've switched wings again. Flicks on. O'Connor can't get there. Cleared away. O'Connor wants a foul. Cartwright doesn't get there. Oh, Paul White comes, gets nowhere near it. And it's... What's going on here?
Well, Paul White is down and injured. Sutton Coldfield want a penalty.
It's a penalty, it is.
It is a penalty.
Well, I'm not overly sure what happened there.
Well, Paul White came out and challenged the number 11, who tried to flick it over him, didn't he? And in doing so, collided with the number 11, thought he was hurt. The linesman's given the penalty. The referee went to consult, and it gives Leek a chance here to equalise. It'll be the 7th penalty that Kettering have conceded this season, the 5th away from home. And it's going to be Reece Leek to take this. Paul White has quite a good record with penalty save. Let's hope he's up to it today. But he's picked himself up. He's on his line. And it is Leek about to take this. The number 10 steps up calmly, takes it, fires, sends Paul White the wrong way. And that is 1-1.
I'm afraid Sam Cartwright's got to take some of the blame for that. He let it bounce. He didn't deal with it first time. He put Paul White in a horrible position, and Paul White felt he had to come out and deal with it. And as you say, the Ancora tried to loft it over Paul White, collided with him. Referee initially wasn't overly sure whether it was inside or outside the box. Consulted with his linesman. Linesman confirmed it was inside. Penalty given. Penalty scored by Leek. 1-1.
Yep, so that brings it back at a level pegging against really the run of play, I suppose. But there we go, one mistake, and it's cost us dearly once again as Marseille flicks the ball through to Halsall. He loses it, slips, and away comes Marcus Kelly now. He can run at the defence. Nobody wide of him at the moment, still Marcus Kelly with it. Brighton's come on this left-hand side outside the penalty area. Still Brighton, passes it back to Ben Milnes. Still Mills going to try a shot. It's a deflection, and that should easily get to Gwillams without any problems whatsoever. 1-1 here at Coles Lane. We're into the 30th minute of this game, and game on, you might say, for the Minnows against one of the best-known sides in the FA Cup, Kettering Town.
Well, yeah, and unless we're going to have penalties, Kettering are going to have to take their tally to 8-9-2 to at least to get something out of this game now. And I say there is still the prospect of extra time and penalties. Should we get that far, we're not yet at half time, so there's still a lot of football to be played before we get to that stage.
Well, let's hope it doesn't go to penalties. Our success at penalties isn't particularly good. It's 50-50.
Hope it doesn't go to extra time. I want to go home at some point tonight.
Oh, yes. But Paul White going to take this goal kick. Thought he was seriously hurt there, but he's dusted himself down, got up.
Do you know where I think he was caught?
In his private area?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's rubbing them now, counting them anyway. But it doesn't looks a bit of discomfort. It's like a
foul just down
White
here.
Holding himself here. He's not happy, Paul White. And
No.
of course, there's no goalkeeper on the bench. It's a free kick to the Poppies in the left-hand side.
O'Connor was caught a little bit late, and he's still struggling.
Midway in the Sutton half.
He is hobbling, isn't he? But he's getting back to jogging. ball, that's not great. It had to be cleared out though. Wonder whether the goalkeeper could have had a shout for that and got it under control. He didn't. Milnes plays a reverse pass to Brighton. Brighton has to go back to Milnes, and Kettering being pushed further back here. Pushed further back inside their own half now with Cartwright. Cartwright to Ben Milnes. Milnes to Kennedy. Kennedy tries to get it back out to... No, sorry, Brighton. Why am I saying Milnes? And then it's cleared away for a throw-in by the number 6, Beresford. Kettering have been pegged back in the last few minutes. They've got to start getting this attack going. It's almost... The game's ebbing and flowing quite nicely, actually. Each team are having a good, solid period of attacking play, and then it changes over. Storer to Milnes. Milnes clips along towards O'Connor. O'Connor lets it run across him. He's down by the corner flag now. Back to Brighton, and has to change direction quickly. Back to Cartwright. Cartwright still bursting forward to O'Connor. Tries to be a bit clever. Comes off the knee of George, and away comes Sutton Coldfield again. Well, they seem to be taking their time about it, slowing the play down, although Enty's tried to speed that up, and Christopheroon nearly paid for it. And there's a chance here. Paul White comes out again and catches with inches to spare on the edge of his box.
Paul White not happy though. He's still holding his private parts, and bit of banter there from the Kettering fans at Nicky Eden to sort the defence out, but Paul White doesn't look too comfortable, Ed.
He doesn't. It's actually above his, thankfully, where we thought it was his family jewels. It's his hip, sort of the front of his hip on his left-hand side.
Throwing to Brighton. Brighton taking it towards Kelly. Kelly flicks one over, and that goes out for a goal kick harmlessly. 34 minutes we're into now. It's 1-1 here at Coles Lane. Kettering took the lead through a good strike from Gary Storer, only to be brought back a penalty a few moments ago by Reese Leake to keep this game alive for the hosts. Chance for either side to play against Boston United at home in the third qualifying round. Ball with Leake. He gets it to George. He pumps that forward towards Marseille. It hits the back of his head, and Cartwright can clear it for Kettering. Cartwright sends it long. It's a poor ball from Cartwright, giving Kelly no chance whatsoever. Goes out for a throw on the left-hand side, and Cartwright looking a bit like the weak link at the moment in the defence. Certainly at fault for the decision that made Paul White come out for the ball. But that's all history as Meikle traps it, gets it to Kennedy, puts it out wide to Storer. Storer, the goal scorer, still in Kettering's half, advancing forward. Plays it back to Luke Graham. Luke Graham looks up, punts it towards O'Connor, chests it down to Kennedy. Plays it out wide to Brighton. Brighton plays it back to Kennedy, under pressure straight away from Ancora. Still Kennedy with it though, having to go forward. Plays it out wide to Kelly. Kelly plays it back to Brighton. Brighton squares it to Milne. Milne's takes a tumble and fires the ball back into the own half though. Graham has to come back and puts the ball back with Paul White. White then clears it, and that goes straight to Deason Martin, but Brighton loses the ball to the number 10, the goal scorer, Leake. He puts the ball in, it comes in off Cartwright, a corner to the home side. Impetus with the Royals at the moment. They're up for this. The 20 fans behind the goal there are all gathered together, cheering on the home side. No band tonight, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for us, no racket, but it hasn't been taken yet. Thought about a short one to Martin. It comes in though. Headed out by Cartwright, and it goes out for a throw-in on our right-hand side. George comes over to take it. Bit of time being taken over this. 1-1 here at Coles Lane. Throw-in taken by George. He finds Martin. Martin right-footed towards the back post. It's too heavy, and number 4 comes racing in, Halsell, but he was offside, and that will be free kick to the Poppies, and there's a substitution being made already. Nicky Eden seen enough, and on comes Jarvan Vidal. And
who's coming off?
I would think that may be Cartwright. Can't see here at the moment. It is number 5, Luke Graham, is coming off. So That is a surprise, and Ed smashed himself in the face with the microphone in the anticipation of Paul White catching the ball. Like you're not wanting your teeth out, you're all right.
That's right. A little bit of a cut lip.
So Luke Graham, they're getting a pat on the back from Nicky Eden. Vidal coming on.
Kennedy then will come into centre half.
More
Storer's
defensive
gone
problems though for the
into
Poppers.
Storer's gone into central midfield with Ben Milnes, and you've got Kelly. It's 4-4-2, I think, isn't it? Storer lofts the ball out towards Marcus Kelly. Kelly brings down to Brighton. Brighton to Milnes. There's a lot of clipping of heels down there. Pushing the back, nowhere near. Storer's now got a chance. O'Connor's through if he can use him. It's a bit of a laboured pass to him though. Has to put it out to Meikle. Meikle still coming in. He may try left-footed shot. He does. Corner it will be because it took a deflection, which took the pace out of it.
Goalkeeper thought it was going to be a goal kick. He could have caught that and stopped that from going out, but he didn't. It gives Kelly a chance to...
Yeah, no one else is really complaining though, are they?
No.
So, goalkeeper's still speaking to the referee, but he's got to look around and see that he's not got the support of any of his defenders. As Kelly puts the corner in, headed back across goal by Kennedy, but wide, long way wide of the
Seems
post.
to be a force field round the goal, doesn't there? Because all Kettering's headers and shots seem to go wide of it. They can't seem to get one on target, other than the one that Storer placed beautifully into the bottom corner.
It's like the defensive shield around the Death Star in Star Wars.
Oh,
But there is a way through it.
there is.
And we've seen it
We've seen
already.
it. Yes.
Gary Storer scoring Kettering's first on 11 minutes.
Storer scored, he did. Brighton goes down under the challenge of Ancora, and it is going to be a Kettering throw-in. Brighton back to Kennedy. Kennedy, long ball for Meikle to chase. Christophers is over there with him as well. But
it's an absolutely wonderful pass.
It was, wasn't it? And Meikle's doing well to keep it in, then pumps it back towards Milnes. Milnes lumps it in. It's a poor ball from Milnes.
And O'Connor is pointing at his feet saying, why didn't you play it there?
Rather than lob it over my head. Pumped in by goalkeeper Gwillams, headed out by Cartwright, only towards Leake. Leake, the goal scorer for the penalty, racing down this wing, cut out by Brighton, but it only goes to Ben George. Ben George plays it squares to Martin. Martin has to take a turn. He plays it back to goalkeeper Gwillams, and the Kettering defence can push up slightly. Gwillams, long ball towards Ancora, headed by Cartwright. George fouls Ben Milnes, who takes a knock in the back. Grimace there from Ben Milnes. He's got up though. And Ancora stopping Storer and taking it quickly. And Paul White seems to have recovered from his knock earlier. And going to take this free kick. He does. Trying to find O'Connor, but that should race out on this surface. And O'Connor can't keep it in, and that will be a throw-in.
No, but he has stopped it going out for a goal kick, which was good awareness from O'Connor. Throw-in keeps the pressure on slightly, although it won't be if Sutton Coldfield do that and get out very easily. Although Vidal comes through, his first real involvement in the game, gets the ball there. Kelly mistimed the jump, and now away comes the number 8. Back to Leake, has hit Storer in the face, who wobbles quite a lot there, like a boxer, wasn't he? He's just taken a haymaker. He didn't get his feet sorted, and he's now hit the deck, and he's getting back to his feet now. He's up. He seems to be able to walk in a straight line and not stagger, which is good.
Referee just checking there, isn't he? And sports therapist doesn't come onto the game. Storer walking in the wrong direction, so it's obviously all right.
Yeah. So throw-in will be taken, as that's what it was. Storer still rubbing his face. George puts it long. That'll be a catch and throw-in.
41 minutes gone here at Coles Lane. It's Sutton Coldfield Town 1, Kettering Town 1. You listen to Poppy's TV audio with Ed Palmer, myself, Paul Cook. Sponsored by Elgood's Brewery. Yes, local beers from Cambridgeshire, especially Whiz Beats. Available in the clubhouse. Brighton flicks it on towards O'Connor now. O'Connor might have a chance here, but comes across as the number 3, Christophers, to hoof the ball into downtown Birmingham. and it will be a throw-in on our left-hand side. Brighton is going to take this. Takes it quickly towards Storer, who seems to recover from that knock. Back to Brighton, flicks it. Poor, though, from Brighton, as it was from George, giving Enty a chance. And Hassel clears the ball long towards Marseille, but he can't control it. Meikle can on the halfway line, flicks it out wide to Vidal, who is challenged. The ball gets to Halsall. He finds Martin. Martin releases Leek. He'll do well to keep this in. He's done ever so well. He's got the pace here on Brighton. He's inside the penalty area. Here comes Leek, puts it there near post, and that's just flicked over. And Paul White loses it. It's a goal! Mistake there by Paul White on the line. Unbelievable. And Kettering go 2-1 down on 42 minutes. A comedy of errors there, Ed Palmer.
Yep, certainly was. The ball was played through. Good work again from Leek. It looked like the ball had deflected out. Paul White then had the chance to control it. He dropped it, and it was eventually hammered in from close range. Not good on the stroke of half-time.
Not sure who scored that goal at the moment till the announcement comes out. It was a melee in there. Not sure they're going to credit it as an own goal. I would doubt it. But not what the Poppies faithful wanted to see them travel. But it is currently Sutton Coldfield Town 2, Kettering Town 1. Is a shock on the cards on here at Coles Lane as Storer gets the ball to Brighton. Brighton back to Storer. Storer scored the opening goal, trying to set out O'Connor.
In the 42nd minute, goal scorer number 9 is Messala.
Marseille has been credited with the goal. He scored the one at Latimer Park on Saturday. So things not going well for Nicky Eden side at the moment as Enty feeds Story. Gives the ball away though, and away comes Chindo Okoro on the left-hand side. He comes inside Jarval and still has the ball in the centre of the park. He might try a long range himself here. Feeds the ball through, loses it, and Marseille fouls Mills in the process, and that is a free kick to Kettering. Quickly taken by O'Connor on the far side to Vidal. Vidal, long ball to Meikle. Meikle takes a touch and is having a little battle here on the wing. He won it, gets it to Milnes, to Storer, who then is fouled off the ball and he goes down. The referee can have a word. It's going to be the first booking of the evening.
I think it is going to be a booking. Storer was scythed down. O'Connor half asked the question, the referee, whether he could play on. I mean, he was going away from goal and there was about 7 or 8 blue shirts between him and the goal. I'm not exactly sure what advantage O'Connor was really alluding to.
And when you consider that they haven't had a shot on target beside the one that Storer...
Was there a booking?
Yes.
There was actually a booking. He's done that quickly, the referee.
The hand goes up and
3 minutes.
Storer is back up.
I think that's 3 minutes added on, or he's booked the number 3, I'm not sure.
Ball comes in from the free kick, headed to flick on there, and there's O'Connor on the goal line, but he can't do what Marseille did, and Sutton get the ball away, hook it out, only towards Brighton. Brighton now, left-footed, under pressure. Brighton back to O'Connor. O'Connor squares it to Conor Kennedy. Kennedy switches it on the far side to Kelly. Kelly, 2 extra minutes of extra time added. Enty's beaten to it. O'Connor can't get there, and that should run to Martin. Martin clears the ball for a throw-in to give Kettering a throw-in on this left-hand side. Brighton with it, back to O'Connor. O'Connor, a bit of a poor ball there from O'Connor and not giving much chance. Offside is Kelly, much to the locals' delight. And Kettering are going to find themselves, looks like to be 2-1 down at half-time. It's going to be a big 45 minutes of football in that second half if Kettering's FA Cup future is to carry on. Ed hasn't been too much after that initial
really
burst.
Started yet, to be honest.
Well, they've had a period of about 20 minutes in the middle where they looked like they're on top of the game, but after that penalty things haven't gone Kettering's way at all. And some dodgy defending by Kettering. And again here it's Marseille, the goal scorer in the penalty area, is being fended off here. Gets the ball out to Leake. Leake puts a low ball in, cleared by Kettering. Goes back to Leake though. He feeds it out to George.
Kettering could be 3-1 down here.
Ben Mills tries of handball, nothing given. Brighton has to hook the ball away. It's not hooked away successfully at all. George gets it, might try a shot. Still George, back and Corey tries a lot. And a brilliant save
what a
from
save.
Paul White. It was curling in. Got his left hand to it and pushing away for a corner. That could have gone in.
What a save. That is Paul White.
Save.
Really absolute top draw save. You won't see many better tonight.
That's 2 saves that Paul White has stopped from going in goals. And when you consider that could have been probably
Absolute
4-1.
rip drawer from Edwin Aaron-Cora as well. Curling across goal. Paul White saw it late and tipped it past post. Wonderful, wonderful save. Got to deal with the corner though. And it hasn't really been handball shouts. Referee gives half time. It's half time and Kettering Town trail 2-1 in the second qualifying round of the Emirates FA Cup replay. And get started so well for Kettering on 11 minutes when Storer put the ball into the back of the net. And then a penalty. And it was a penalty as well. As Paul White came rushing out and clattered Aaron-Cora. Through no fault of his own though, he was left with no choice after Cartwright's misheader forced Paul White into an awful decision really. He had to make one or the other, and I think it was going to end up in a goal either way. And then not too long ago, about 4 minutes before half time, comedy of errors on the right hand side. A missed clearance, put the ball up into the air. It was headed back across goal. Paul White looked to have had it, dropped the ball, and Marseille was there to prod the ball home from about half a yard. It's half time here then at Sutton Coldfield Town. It's Sutton Coldfield Town 2, Kettering Town 1. Join us again in around about 15 minutes. Oh, welcome back to the second half. The Emirates FA Cup second qualifying round replay. Currently Sutton Coldfield Town 2, Kettering Town 1. Defensive errors and more defensive errors. The order of the day from Kettering, I'm afraid. And Nicky Eden, as Paul said just as we went off air, and I concur with, has probably had the biggest half-time team talk of his managerial career.
Well, yes, certainly a lot hangs on this next 45 minutes for all concerned, I would have thought, because that is unacceptable first half of football again from the Poppers after taking a, let's say, not a commanding lead, but a decent lead to let two howlers in again like that. The number 10 roasting Brighton down this right-hand side, causing all sorts of havoc. And that's no disrespect to Sutton Coldfield. They are 2 leagues below Kettering.
Yeah.
And you can't tell at the moment which side is which.
You couldn't, and they're certainly playing up, and Kettering aren't turning up, which is the issue. Unlike what is turning up is the music, because Peter Short is in charge of it.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Yes, a moment
I was talking like Barry Manilow.
Yes, a moment like this is not the time to be playing music, because we've got football to go on with, and Kettering have got an Emirates FA Cup journey to keep alive.
One more goal, and I think it would be curtains for Kettering, to be fair.
Yes, if it goes Sutton Coldfield's way, obviously.
Yeah, because they did this against Redditch. They went 2-1 up, and that inspired them to win that one 3-1. No changes for Kettering Town at half-time. All the subs are out there. That's Solkin, Carter, Hodge, Mo Seba and Nimley. We're all there. And we're waiting for the officials. Both teams are out on the park, but it hasn't got any officials at the moment, as Peter Short's doing some sort of impression of Dave Lee Travers, I think, at the moment. But can we say that, Dave Lee Travers?
Oh, God. Anyway, referee's out.
Referee's out.
And the ball is on the centre spot, but we're going to wait for the assistant referees to make sure no one has tampered with the nets through half-time. And they haven't, obviously. But there we are.
It's going to be Kettering Town kicking from left to right now, and Enty is over the ball with possibly a lot of players' careers on the line here, I would have thought, maybe. But we'll have to wait and see. There's 45 minutes of football on. Anything can happen. You're listening to Poppy's TV audio live here at Coalshill, sponsored by Elgood's Brewery. And we're off Enty to Milnes, back to Vidal. Vidal has to play the ball back, though, straight away to Kennedy. Kennedy plays it to Paul White as Encora chases him down. White humps the ball towards Enty's, beaten to it by Halsell. And Okoro beaten to that one by, and there's a head injury on Okoro straight away. And play is stopped. On comes the sports therapist for Sutton Coldfield.
GC says curtains, he says blinds, more like.
Blinds.
Beacon player, have you seen Mark Brace?
No.
Yes.
Have you?
Well, not today,
Not
but
today.
I have seen him at some point.
I saw him on Saturday.
Wait, no, I haven't. Should I have? Anyway, the 7, which is a Coro, is just currently down receiving some treatment for, like I said, that head injury. A little bit of looking at from the physio, sports therapist, or whatever they're called now, physician, fitness instructor. I don't know. They make them up all the way now. But still on the ground, Okoro. Oh, big news. 4751. You've won the 50-50. Well done.
And the holder of that ticket will receive £47.50.
£47.50. Get in, payday for someone.
Yeah. Here's what you could have won.
Although, let's be honest, £47.50 is a lot more useful than a speedboat.
Especially in this part of the country, especially as the ball is lumped now into Kettering's area, but it's out of play. Throw into Kettering, which Vidal will take when he gets the ball off the steward.
Coro's back on.
He's done that towards Enty, but cut out by a Coro. And a foul on Ben Mills, who's taken a bit of a battering tonight, Millsy.
He has, hasn't he?
Cora won't let them take the free kick quickly. Still not 10 yards. I want to be careful here, otherwise the referee will have
it's
a
an
word.
easy yellow card, isn't it? If he
yeah.
carries on doing that. It's one of those, as a manager, you think, what on earth are you doing? just given the referee an easy decision to make. Paul White taking the free kick then. Goes long, looking for NT. NT does win the flick on. O'Connor's trying to get underneath it. He lets it bounce. It's being pushed around, and Kennedy shoots over the netting. New balls, please.
That's got in someone's back garden, hasn't it, over there. Knocked a squirrel and an owl off that tree, I think, as that went by. But new ball required.
Goal kick it will be for Lewis Williams to take.
Kettering last lost at this stage of the competition against Chalfont St Peter, I think it was, in 2014-15 at Latimer Park. That was 1-0.
Thank you, Paul. Good bit of knowledge, facts. That's going to be a catch and throw in.
Throw in.
Try and take it to Milnes. Milnes goes down the line, up into the air. Milnes is going to have another chance. Gets that there. O'Connor is shoved to the ground, thrown to the floor, and yes, taken quickly by Meikle, sprayed out to James Brighton. That's the fella. Now it's Ben Milnes. Milnes out to James Brighton again. Kettering being forced backwards again. Milnes puts the ball in. It's not an awful ball. Forces the defence to do something with it. Although they've done it and done it well. And that ball out wide is absolutely zinged out for a throw-in. Far too much pace on it. Taken quickly by Vidal to Meikle. Meikle to Vidal. Oh, and it's been nipped off him. And there's a chance here as Okoro has got a lot of green space in front of him. Still going, Okoro. He's up against Kennedy and onto his right foot. Still going. That's a foul on the edge of the box. Yellow card it will be.
Well, that is debatable. The Sutton Coldfield fans and players saying that should be a penalty. It's right on the line,
it's
isn't
at
it?
least 2 yards outside the area. I'm not having the penalty shout.
Spectacularly went down as the referee though has got the ball about a foot from the line, hasn't he? So is this going to be another chance? Well, it will be a chance for Sutton Coldfield.
Kettering have conceded free kicks galore as well this season.
They have, and they've not been that spectacular with them, have they? They've conceded quite a few from set pieces, penalties.
This is a chance, mate. No bones about it. This is
it is
a
look just
chance.
A foot away from the penalty area there. Paul White organising his wall. The referee is in there as well. This needs to be very tight for Kettering. And Cora is leaving it for Leak. Leak, the score of the penalty, is eyeing it up.
Well, it'll be offside if they stay there. It'll be offside if they stay there.
Well, it's leaving Whitey.
Yeah, Paul White might as well have just left him, because if he stayed there, it's offside.
Yeah.
I don't know why Paul White's done that.
And now there's a gap that Paul White can see. I can see it going top left-hand corner.
Low,
great save.
Built, great save.
Brilliant
oh,
save
what a
Paul
save.
White. Superb on the second. Two Sutton Coldfield players coming in for the tap-in, but Paul White there, right on his post, fends them both off. That should have been 3-1, and that would have been
Paul White.
Blind to somebody.
Apart from the mistake he made for the second one, has played a blinder. Some really good saves in this game, but
that's three important saves that Paul White has made that would have been goals. But Ben Milnes has the ball for Kettering.
Oh no, we'll take the advantage. Kennedy hits long, headed away, only as far as Meikle. Meikle with a chance to go forward. Still going, Lyndon Meikle, still into the penalty area. That's a foul, yeah. Always the case if a defender gets in front of you when you're trying to chase through a ball, then it's a foul. Well, there's no need to stop the game because the player is off the pitch who's injured. So the referee doesn't need to check on him. He's off the pitch, and and he's rolled onto the pitch. Wow, I wonder whether he'd probably get booked for that. And he's been told to slink off the pitch.
Nothing wrong with him actually, getting a bit of abuse from the Kettering fans.
Foul. And Kennedy's going to go in the book, I'd imagine. So the ball hits the roof. He's not going to go in the book. Referee.
Well, this is as scrappy as match as I've seen for a long time, Ed, to be honest. It really is poor stuff. 7 minutes into the second half, and score remains the same. It's a free kick. player allowed to come back on. It's Leake and Okora with it, midway in Kettering's half on the left-hand side. Leake, who's caused all sorts of problems for the Poppies, is about to take this. Still hasn't been taken. Referee is watching what's going on. It's going to be Ancora, but no, Leake tries when it comes in lower. Flick on there, and Meikle gets rid of it, but it only goes back to Leake, who puts it back in again. Headed out by Kennedy, and that's going to go for a corner as the Sutton United fans, Sutton Town
United
Sutton Town. Well, I've lost all composure. The Sutton Town fans are getting behind their team. They're behind the goal. Not sure what the attendance is, but it's not very high at all. The Sutton fans that aren't here are missing a treat for their side. Ancora on the far side. Sorry, it's the number 7 with the Coro with it. He places it in towards the back post, and there's a foul there on Kelly. Referee stops play. Paul White rolls the ball in out of the 6-yard box. Only O'Connor in the Sutton half at the moment.
I think it's actually been given as a goal kick. I think it went out of play and came back in. Paul White then goal kick. Free header for the player for Sutton. Meikle manages to keep on a spooned clearance. Deflections everywhere. Flicked on by Storer. O'Connor brings it down, plays it around the corner to Storer, who can't get there. Be a Sutton throw-in, which it was. Storer unhappy with the linesman. Kennedy heads the ball back out of play for another throw-in, further down inside Kettering's half now.
It'll be Christopher who's coming down to take this throw-in, who not a lot on for him at the moment, but Ancora leaves the ball and Milnes clears it, but it just goes wildly to the number 6, back to Christopher, and it's Mutton with it, places it right-footed. There's Cartwright, got loads of time, but just heads it anywhere, and the number 4 comes in. Halsall, it's with Ancora, might try a long ranger. He's going out wide, does a dummy. Still Ancora with it, plays it out wide on the far side. It's George with the ball. He puts it into penalty area. There's Ancora. Paul White comes out, collects it, does well on the penalty spot. And White really has done well all with that fumble for the second goal. Pulled off 3 at least very goal-bound saves as Meikle flicks the ball onto Enty. Enty gets it through to Storer. Storer might have a chance here. Storer's through and cleared by Beresford as Storer was about to pull the trigger for his second goal of the season, but never happened. Brighton on the far side. It's Storer, in fact. He plays it back to Brighton. He whips it in, headed on by O'Connor. Nobody there. And Gwilym gets the ball. Sutton Coldfield Town 2, Kettering Town 1 here in the Emirates FA Cup second qualifying round replay. As the ball's pumped in, and Cartwright's done a bad header there, and it's come through to Ancora. Ancora turning, plays the ball out wide to Martin. Martin inside the penalty area. He's got Vidal in front of him. Martin now on his right foot, tries one in deflection, and Paul White's going to do something, but no, it's gone for a corner. Can't blame White for that. More pressure by the Sutton Coldfield Town, the underdogs in this game, the Royals. And they're winning the battle at the moment. 11 minutes into this second half, and Kettering haven't caused the Sutton defence any problems whatsoever in this first opening 11 minutes. It's all gone very quiet. The Kettering directors in front of us are very quiet as we are, as the corner comes in now towards the back post. There is Mutton, and that goes off him for goal kick. In fact, it was Beresford, not Mutton. Paul White then with the ball, places it in his 6-yard box. No more changes yet for Kettering. As I say, when Hodge and Carter came on Saturday, the A lot of improvement was made. I'd certainly think about bringing somebody on as the ball doesn't reach Enty. It's back with Ancora and then through Marseille, and luckily for him, can't get through. Mills tackles him, but now Connor Kennedy has to mop up the difference. And Ancora does ever so well to stop the ball from going forward. It comes off himself and goes for a throw-in. They seem really up for this, Sutton Coldfield Town, and so Storer plays it to Mills. Mills, long ball switch to Brighton on the far side now. Brighton with acres of space to run here at the Sutton Coldfield defence, but decides to play the ball in, and it's a poor ball by Brighton, coming off Leake and going for a throw-in. Should have done better with that, Ed.
I don't know why he slowed down. Defenders hate defending against pace.
Mills, left-footed, fits one in, straight into the hands of goalkeeper Lewis Gwilliams, who really couldn't do anything but get in the way of it and fall down on it, which he's done.
No, in fact, actually, I think it would have been more difficult to drop that one. It was actually hit straight perfectly into sort of his stomach area, which just put your arms out and your hands will stick to them.
Well, Brighton can only hoof the ball back to Beresford, who then lumps that forward himself towards Marseille. It's not pleasant viewing at the moment as Ben George can't keep the ball in. He can. It comes off Kelly. Back to Enty. Now back to Kelly. Kelly weaves inside in the Sutton Coldfield half. Sweeps it over here towards Vidal, who can't keep that in. He didn't even try, did he, to keep that in? Just let the ball go out. Surely make an effort to keep the ball in, but it's going to be a throw-in to Sutton Coldfield. It's Christopher with the ball. Long throw-in towards Ancora, who's been causing Kettering a lot of problems along with Leake. He gets it to his lookalike. No, it's still Ancora. Does ever so well. He beats Kennedy. Still Ancora with it. Left-footed, right-footed. Dribbles around. Gets the ball away, though, to Enty. Enty intercepts. Gets it to Storer. Storer plays it out wide. Now, Kelly. He surely could do something with this. Kelly is a race in there. Meikle rushing on the other side. In comes Kelly. Left-footed. Might try a shot. Does one. Beaten to it. Tackled there. Ben Mills gets the ball back. Brighton's on the far side, but he can't get the ball to him. Mills has to play it square to Kelly, who can't control it, but he gets it to Vidal. Vidal puts the ball in. A hopeless ball by Vidal, and the ball goes straight to the goalkeeper. All that work, the attack breaks down, and Sutton Coldfield come away with it. Not a good passage of play for the Poppies, Ed.
No, Kettering get to the final third, and then sort of forgetting how to play football a little bit. You just need to
score a goal.
Get the ball in the back of the net, and you don't have to be fancy about it. You don't have to do anything apart from just do something to get the ball in the back of the net. It's not like Williams has been pulling off strings of fantastic saves and Kettering have been knocking on the door. Kettering haven't been knocking on the door. Well, Kettering have been shouting timidly from a distance to get someone to open even the letterbox at the moment.
It's been Paul White that's having to deliver the post, isn't it, with some great saves, and Williams has been rather stationary in the Sutton office, having to just look what's going on as Ben Mills gets the ball over to Storer. Storer wide to Meikle. Meikle now. Is he going to use Vidal? Probably not after the last display. Meikle right-footed. Still Meikle outside the penalty area. Dribbles one way, dribbles the other, goes inside the penalty area, goes out wide. Still Meikle with it. Does a lovely shuffle there. Puts the ball in. It comes off for a corner. Good work though by Meikle. He seems to be the only one at the moment that seems to have any clue what he's doing.
Well, and there was a missed clearance earlier on about 5-7 minutes ago. I was going to bring it up at the time, but there was quite a lot of action going on. He was fuming at the defence. He's really fired up at the moment. He will just want to get a goal and get back into this game and then just get pushing, I think.
Kelly then with the corner towards the back post. It's too hard, too heavy, and it's headed out there. Ben Mills has to retrieve the ball back, puts it back in heavy towards Kennedy. Back to Mills. Mills out wide to it's Enty, puts the ball in there. Nobody there. Headed out by Martin. Back to Ben Mills. He pushes it to Storer. Storer lumps it forward towards O'Connor in the penalty area. O'Connor now has a chance here. Handball off O'Connor, and that goes out for a goal kick. O'Connor protesting that he was pushed, as he always does, but nothing on there though. And easy peasy lemon squeezy for Sutton Coldfield Town. 17 minutes into this second half. Not
just
sure.
Lemon squeezy either. All range of citrus fruits
are
being squeezed at how easy this is. In fact, they're being squeezed more than Kettering is squeezing Sutton Coldfield's defence. It's a foul. Oh, well, referee's not given that. I'm afraid Vidal was all over the Sutton Coldfield player, and I'm surprised that hasn't been given as a foul. Two players getting each other's way from Sutton Coldfield, although Vidal says, go on, have it back. And now here they come forward again, Sutton Coldfield. On the left-hand side with the number 8, twisting, turning. Oh, and it's with Okoro, who's got so much space and time. Good block away. Storer can't get there. Milnes just gets the ball. He finds O'Connor. O'Connor gets there. Enty, a little bit of a barge. Referee says no, does he? Yeah, he does say no. Milnes, he's got a man on him. Clips it all the way out towards James Brighton, who brings it down. Plays it forward to Kelly. Kelly into Enty. Enty back to Kelly. Kelly looking for options. He's very central now. Nice step overs from him. Gets it out to Brighton again. Brighton to Milnes. Milnes into Gary Storer. Storer looking for an option. O'Connor. O'Connor back to Vidal. Vidal to O'Connor. O'Connor to Storer. Storer, just an awful touch. And Meikle will have to try and recycle something from it. He goes all the way back to Connor Kennedy. Kennedy hits long towards Brighton. Won't get there. Cut out, throw in it'll be. Oh, there's an injury for Sutton Coldfield on the edge of their own box.
An injury to a Sutton Coldfield player just outside the penalty area. And a few cries of get Carter on from the Kettering fans in front of us. But nothing, no movement at the moment as Meikle's taking his shirt off here. What's happening here then?
Oh, he's taking his undershirt off.
It's obviously too hot. And Meikle's had a decent game tonight of all
Putting
the
a
Kettering
shift.
players. Needs to continue and try and get the Poppies back into a game, really.
Punch down the line. O'Connor's going to keep that in as well. It might fall for Kelly. It doesn't. It's cleared out off the floodlight. Stayed in the ground and then goes out the ground.
Yeah, that's another comedy of errors, wasn't it? Well, I'm not sure really what to say about this. Anything positive I can't really say too much about.
Well, he scored.
Good goal from Storer.
Good goal.
And Paul White's pulled off some good saves.
He has. He's also pulled off an absolute horror show for the second goal. But Milnes clips it in. That's a half shout for a penalty. Not even a half shout.
For a penalty there, wasn't
quarter shout for a penalty.
Well, games come in thick and fast. It's Hereford on Saturday, and if Kettering should get through this, Boston United, followed by Spenamore and Altrincham, it's non-stop here, and Kettering need to get back into playing some kind of football as Brighton plays it through to Storer. Storer to Milnes. Milnes pumps the ball forward towards Enty. Enty wins the header. O'Connor gets it chested down. The number 4 goes down but gets up. It's still O'Connor on the wing on the far side. Has to play the ball back. No, he plays it square towards Ben Milnes. Milnes outside the penalty area. Has to play it wide to Kelly. Kelly coming inside the penalty area. Here comes Kelly. Plays it loose there. Here's Milnes. Miskicks it. And there's Enty. Enty shoots. Blocked. That should have been a shot on target at least, but he missed his kick there, Ben Milnes, and any touch on that, and that would have been in the goal. And then nothing going Kettering's way as Enty's in the penalty area. It comes off, and it's a corner kick, much to the displeasure
That's a goal kick. I don't know how the linesman's come up with that decision, but that's a goal kick.
Well,
I honestly don't know how he's come up with that decision. I will take it, but it's goal kick. It's come off Enty last, blatantly. And it's come off a hand as well.
Can Kelly do any better with the corner kick that's gone right to the back post normally? This one does again. It's in there. Cartwright beaten to it. And be a corner on the far side. No, this time the referee has
the mistake made for the first one made up for the second one. That one was definitely a corner. The first one definitely wasn't. We got to the right decision, just too late. Carter looks like he's going to be coming on. He's getting instructions, but Kettering have only got 23 minutes to do anything with it.
And they haven't really looked like, other than that miss kick there by Ben Milnes. Goalkeeper Gwillams in the second half hasn't had a save to make. He gets the ball forward towards Marseille. Yeah, Marseille hasn't got it. Brighton has. He has to kick the ball, though, quickly towards Meikle. Meikle does well in the centre circle there. Traps it, turns round well, pumps the ball forward. Not a lot on for him. Plays it out wide towards Kelly. Intercepted by George. Then Leake gets the run on. It comes off Brighton, and that will be a throw-in on the far side to Sutton Coldfield. Sutton Coldfield Town 2, Kettering Town 1. 23 minutes of this second half gone.
22.
And technically 23.
We're in the 23rd minute, but we've only had 22.
Now 12 seconds.
Well, there is now.
Well, 14 now.
Extra time, of course, if Kettering find their way back into this.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, the joy of watching another 30 minutes. That should be an advantage, which it is from the referee. Meikle, nice from him. Clips it towards the far post, cleared away. Ben Milnes brings it down. He's got a man on him though. He needs to go back out to Brighton, which he does. He plays it all the way to Kennedy. Kennedy takes a touch. He's going to shoot. He's going to absolutely shoot. And over the bar it goes, because shooting from 40 yards out when we're 2-1 down in a game we should be winning.
With the head back and tilting backwards like a Sabutio player.
It's the exact way to do.
Well, indeed, it is going to be Joel Carter coming on, catching a second substitution. Vidal came on the first half. It's Carter coming on. Can't see who's coming off at the moment. The board's being turned around. We can't see it. That's handy. And it is Aaron O'Connor, I think, coming off. It is, in fact, Aaron who's coming off rather slowly. Still hasn't really found too much form. Getting a few boos, shaking his head as he comes off. Not happy.
Well, they're not booing Aaron O'Connor. I'll tell you that for certain. No. They're booing the decision.
So, well, yes, there's one or two other players that the cries, if you don't know what you're doing, are coming from the Kettering contingent.
I don't know why he's taking Aaron O'Connor off. We're 2-1 down. We're taking a striker off and bringing him on a midfielder. I don't care how many goals he's got. You're taking off a striker and you're bringing on a midfielder. It's not a tactical decision. Unless, of course, Carter scores 3 now and completely proves me wrong, which I hope he does. It's a foul. Yeah, it's always going to be a foul. Kettering have got one more substitution to make, and they've got Hodge, Seba, Nimley, Solkin, the options. Solkin it won't be.
Yep. And Perm one from any three. Nimley's had no match practice whatsoever, so I can't see Nimley coming
Seba
on.
or Hodge, isn't it?
And I would think Hodge, if anybody will come on. And it's
the only other thing
for
you
a corner. How about that? A long
has.
ball ricochets off a Kettering back and goes for a corner. Everyone having to go into the Kettering half. And the home side are going to make their first substitution. It's Ryan Shaw, who played in the original tie at Kettering, is going to replace number 7 Okoro. But it'll be
new rules being enforced, saying he has to go off at the closest line, which he has done, and on goes the number 12.
And Ryan Shaw steps on then, as this corner is about to be taken. Kettering 2-1 down
this
here.
This is one of those situations where the substitute scores with his first touch, isn't it?
No, Ed.
I've just got one of those feelings. And it comes. Paul White underneath it, gets there. There was a foul on a Kettering player anyway, but it was free kick given against the Sutton Coldfield player, who's going to go in the book for it. Is running away from his responsibilities. Thank you. Worthing Poppy says, poor Paul and Ed, gotta feel sorry for them. We appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
We're having to watch it. At least you can turn off if you don't like what you hear and go and make a cup of tea or something. We're here until the final whistle, whenever that may be. Paul White. No one is challenging for any headers that Paul White puts forward. I know they're not hitting the mark, but no one's within 10 yards of the player who heads it eventually. Sam Cartwright. Connor Kennedy. Kennedy out to Vidal. Vidal's going to have to go back to Kennedy. Kettering are playing across their back four as if they're 3-1 up. Mark Seven says, Ed, he would never dream of turning me off.
Yes, we would say.
Oh dear. I wondered how long it'd be. Kennedy. Brighton. Storer. Well, this is the longest Kettering have held onto the ball for
Well, they've gone nowhere with it,
for
though.
a long time. They've gone nowhere with it, but positives, Paul, positives. Meikle tries to put an end to that, but he's managed to find it through to NT. There's a tangle of legs. Meikle, chance to put the ball in, and he's put it over the bar into the net from
Well,
a
Meikle looks like the only
crossing
player,
position.
doesn't he, that's going to cause any sort of problems for the Sutton Coldfield defence. He's been sprightly, he's had shots, he's dummied the players, he's caused any problems that there has been for Sutton's defence, but unfortunately none of those have actually paid off yet. 28 minutes we're into now of this second half. Kettering's FA Cup dream's going to be over for this season. It is Gwilliams with the goal kick towards Kennedy, who misses it, and Cora gets the ball, he shields it, but well done by Cartwright, but he only gives it away to Ryan Shaw, plays it out wide to Christopho on the far side. He's still got the ball. It's not Christopho, it's Leak in fact. Now it's Christopho, pumps the ball in. Oh, there's a punch there. A push, sorry, not a punch. A push.
A punch?
Well, it might as well have been. And
foul if it goes. Oh no, referee says no. Be honest, I've had to question some of the referee's decisions, and those have been the ones against Kettering as well. Throw in it'll be for Sutton Coldfield Town, 2-1 still. And a little over 15 to go. Kettering have got to find something, and they've got to find it very, very, very quickly.
Although we didn't want extra time and penalties at the moment, I'd take the extra time because at least it would give us a chance of getting something out of this game. And
I'll be honest, Kettering need a goal, and they need it yesterday.
Well, other than Meikle, I can't really see where a goal's coming from at the moment.
O'Connor, but
he's not
not
it
anymore.
Well, Christopho
Far
has
be it
the
for me to voice opinions on such things, but O'Connor was actually looking okay. I mean, it's of not a great performance from the team. O'Connor was actually pulling a few strings and good few passes. Kettering have got a chance to counter here. They've got to take it, and Gary Storer has just prevented the ball to Sutton and said, there you go. Thankfully, Brighton's brought it back and then provided the ball straight back again, and it's through. Oh, it's cleared away. Storer couldn't get there. Out to Meikle. Kettering have got to use this momentum now. It's Vidal in. Back post headed away. Milnes brings down on his chest. Don't shoot, he doesn't. He passes it out to Vidal. Vidal to Meikle. Meikle looking for an option. Plays it back to Milnes. Milnes in. Headed. It's poor and past the post.
Well, Sutton Coldfield fighting for their lives here. You can see the desperation in their tackles, but they're putting heart and soul and body behind the ball, defending everything as if this is the last game on the planet. And so far it's working to them as we're into 30 minutes of this game. 15 minutes left for Kettering to get something from a game they've really been out-battled in this second half. And it's going to be Gwilliams with the kick. He's taken it. And Paul White coming out with a back pass there by Vidal. Paul White has to hump the ball towards Meikle. He loses out this time. That's a back header from Christopho. Meikle fighting away with Ryan Shaw though. Ryan Shaw hooks the ball towards Marseille, but Kennedy wins it. Carter gets a touch, doesn't know where the ball is, and foul on Storer. Straight through was Hassel, quickly taken by Kettering. It's on the far side now with Brighton. Kelly making a run forward, but Brighton has taken too much time to release Kelly. Now he's giving NT a chance, and it's a poor ball. NT stands no chance.
Sean Tailby says tactics. Well, I'm sure there are some. I'm not overly sure what they are, but I'm sure there is one. Kettering have got to throw in. Not sounding very hopeful, is it? I presume that's beginning to sound like one of those days again. Yes. Throw in taken. I will try and get formation for you in a second. Corner ball. Kettering have to use this. It is certainly 4 at the back, and I'd imagine 4-3-3 or 4-5-1 depending. Milnes to take this corner.
The corner so far, Ed's gone towards the back post and just gone wildly over, hasn't it?
Substitution. Well, Solkin's coming on. And Marcus Kelly's coming off. I'll let you explain that one, Paul.
Oh, thanks.
Because I am not overly sure why Marcus Kelly's coming off.
Well, nor am I. Kettering Angel, is he going to give Kettering that added goal? He comes off not happy, I don't think, Marcus Kelly, but Sulkin.
Marcus Kelly's been nearly swore. Marcus Kelly's been fantastic today.
Along with Meikle, really the only two that have put in a shift in the second half.
Yeah,
But it's
Sulkin gets goals.
In it comes towards Carter, headed in, off the line by the goalkeeper who goes down. And it looked like it's going to loop into the top right left-hand corner. But Gwillem's stretched out his hands, grappled with it. And
Substitution for Kettering in the 77th minute, number 11, Marcus Kelly, being replaced by number 14, Greg Skolcom.
Confirmation of the substitution.
White then trying to find Sulkin. Sulkin gets the ball to Enty. Enty though back to Sulkin, fires one in, and it's a shot.
That's the first time I've seen Brett shoot from outside the box.
No, but it wouldn't have meant anything, would it? Because it's
Right,
going to be a free kick, and the home side are making their second substitution. It's going to be Joel Pownley coming on, and number 11 and Cora coming off.
Well, we'll get the player off eventually.
Just been given the official attendance of 222.
Oh, he's gone off. Yep, he's gone off. New rules about where he goes off the pitch. I can't see where he is though. Free kick for Sutton. Hit long, and the number 9's somehow been able to keep that ball where he was.
Being replaced by number 16.
Oh, beautiful play from Sutton. It's really wonderful football. Oh, it's really wonderful football. It's really wonderful football, and it's a great challenge by Kennedy. And Cartwright needs to get it out. Oh, good footwork from Sam Cartwright. Not sure I really want to see him doing that, but fair play to him. He's done it well.
It had to be, didn't it? Because it gives Kettering a chance now as Carter's racing away with the ball. There's Sulkin and Enty in the middle. It's still Carter with it. Has to check himself. Plays it square. Tries a shot, and that might as well have gone down to Franklin's Garden with that one. It goes high and wide.
I think that's wide of Franklin Garden, to be honest.
Poor decision by
the
Carter.
World Cup's going on. There's no points there. Flags are staying down.
Lovely move from Kettering after that superb piece of football by Sutton in the Kettering Town penalty area. Cartwright doing ever so well, getting the ball out to Brighton. And the finish, though, by Carter left a lot to be desired. Williams with the goal kick. Connor Kennedy heads it out towards Brighton. Brighton has played it forward towards Sulkin. He flicks it onto Carter. Carter now with a chance to redeem himself here. Flies one in. It's a poor shot again and goes weak and wide.
Ten minutes of this game left. It is Brett Sulkin time. And he's on the pitch. However, Brett Sulkin is on a 4G pitch, which means injury, usually.
Well, it did at Merthyr, didn't it? When
and it did, somewhere else as well. Bedworth, was it?
I think it was Bedworth a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Both him and Mulligan, I think.
He openly admits, and when Marcus was here as well, he used to say it a lot. Brett admits it. He just can't. He doesn't like 4G pitches. He seems to get injured on them. It is difficult on the knees, and him being an old man, the knees have got to be protected at his age. Meikle's battling. Meikle's done really well, really very, very well. Milnes out to Brighton. Brighton to Milnes. Milnes to Meikle. Sutton Coldfield have got nearly all 11 men behind the ball, but it won't stop Meikle picking out Vidal. Vidal, ball in, headed away. Storer can't even beat the number 10 there. Kennedy's done well. That's never a foul. Meikle looking for an option. Hits into the area, headed out. Meikle will get another opportunity. Brings it down. It's in his own half. Meikle's fuming. He's got no options. He's absolutely livid. Storer lays it off to, well, it's just atrocious. Just absolutely awful. Really bad. Apologies. We'll try and keep it positive, but that was, well, can't describe that on radio. I'm not allowed to use those words. 4 letters anyway. Carter, Kennedy. Cartwright, Brighton, Cartwright, Meikle, still Meikle. There's no pace in the game. Now he tries to inject a bit, shoots, hits NT up into the air. Solkin gets a head on it. It should be cleared away. It is. Now it's 11 men behind the ball time for Sutton Coldfield. Fair play to them. They've played, as you said, like it's the last game on earth. And played on, and there's an advantage, and Vidal has to do well with this. Vidal has to do so well with this. Vidal! Referee has got Kettering out of a hole there. Substitution to be made. Vidal's down though, and he's not back up, which will allow Sutton Coldfield to take this free kick, this substitution. .15 is coming on. That's who's that? Reece Gibson. I didn't see who was going off.
They haven't done that at the moment. Vidal's still down.
It's Marseille who got the second goal. And Kettering are facing the prospect of 7 minutes with 10 men because Vidal is not moving from the ground. Still not moving, Vidal.
Of course, he was injured early on in the season, wasn't he, as well?
That was concussion, though.
Concussion.
This is his knee.
So, gets up rather gingerly.
Kettering will be finishing this game with 10 men. Vidal's not coming back on. If he's having to be helped off the pitch by Rachel, the physio. That's his game. Good. That's his game done.
That's another player injured. Scars in the first leg. Vidal in this second leg, down to 10 men. Paul White pumps the ball in towards Enty. Enty flicks it on to Brighton. Brighton out on the wing there. Still Brighton with it. Brighton comes inside, puts the ball over here. Header comes in, headed out there. Shulkin couldn't get there. Back to Brighton though. It's going to be a throw to Kettering.
I don't know the answer to this, but we'll wait for a moment as it goes out for a Kettering throw-in. No, it's not gone out. Meikle keeps it in. Kennedy, don't shoot. He looked like he was going to. He doesn't. No, he needed to play that about 2 hours earlier. Storer trying to go past this man. Has to go backwards to Milnes. Milnes has got it is 11 men behind the ball, and it's 11 versus 10. Ball hit forward, cleared away. Cartwright has to do well with this. He does. Heads it to Milnes. Milnes needs to do well as he's brought down by the 15. He needs to play it. He does eventually. Meikle. He's going to try and find Storer, which he finds expertly. Storer brings it down. Ball in, cleared up and away. 15 is going to be there. Who is it? Missed kick, and Storer won't get there, but it'll be a Kettering throw-in. I don't know the rules in this competition because there were rules brought in other competitions, which if it goes to extra time, you get an extra substitution. Kettering may need it if they go to extra time because Vidal's game is over.
We're going to get to 2-2 yet, though, Ed. There's not
of
long
course,
to go.
Yes,
5
that's
minutes,
what I mean.
And going as Kennedy puts one in here towards Enty. Cut out there to Brighton. Brighton can't get it. Cleared by Ryan Shaw. Anywhere will do. Anywhere is good. Paul White having to come out of his area. He can't handle this, otherwise he'll get done. He kicks it towards Cartwright. Cartwright on the far side. Squares it to Connor Kennedy. Kennedy with a bit of space. Still Kennedy with it in the centre circle. Kennedy looks up, plays it towards Ben Mills. Mills has to play the ball back to Kennedy. Well, that's an absolute waste of time as the ball comes over now to Storer. Storer comes inside. Good work there by Storer, who scored Kettering's opener. Puts the ball in. It doesn't reach Sulkin, and Ryan Shaw gets the ball away. He beats Lyndon Meikle too. It's still Ryan Shaw on the far side. Sutton closing the poppies down, puts the ball anywhere, and Paul White stops this from going out, collects it in his hands, and will
3 minutes.
3 minutes to save Kettering's integrity
Plus
in the
whatever the
FA
referee
Cup,
adds.
plus added time. It is going to be a giant killing by Sutton United, who've already knocked out Gresley and Redditch United in previous rounds. This will be a fantastic scalp for them as Enty turns, puts the ball back to Ben Mills. Mills plays it out wide here to Storer. Now Storer with a bit of room on this right hand side, puts the ball in. Carter can't get there. Mills can. He's going to hit it. He does it. Ricochets straight off Martin. Back to Meikle on the far side. All pressure from Kettering at the moment. Meikle trying to come forward. Plays it out wide again to Storer. Storer plays it square back to Meikle. Meikle can't put the ball in. He's got no space there. Plays it out wide to Ben Mills. Ben Mills thought about a shot. Can't. Has to play it out wide. And a dreadful shot there by Mills. But somehow it's reached Meikle. Meikle squares it again to Ben Mills, to Carter. Carter looks up. He's got Brighton with him. Then to Carter. Then to Mills. Mills through towards Sulkin. Sulkin's a scramble. And all heck's playing it. Carter gets there. Enty's in there. Can't get it. Goes down. Still Enty with it. It's in there. And a melee of shots and stubs. And it goes wide of the post. Anything there. That was a scramble.
Good old-fashioned scramble.
Time running out for the Poppies. And some serious questions needed to be asked, I think, if Kettering do go out of this FA Cup tie. And
that is understatement of the century.
It is. I'm a master of the understatement, you know.
Did you? Well, you're showing it. Because
Worthing Poppy, fair play to them. They have played battles well, and we haven't. Yep, I'll go along with that. In the second half, Sutton have taken the game to Kettering. They've got the lead, which they probably deserve, to be honest, and they've battled and fought well at the back, snuffing out any Kettering attack, while Kettering haven't really produced anything that Gwilliams has had to make any save at, to be honest.
Gwilliams hasn't had to make a save this second half. It's that simple. Gwilliams hasn't made a save this second half.
Well, now we're down to desperate times as we're into the 45th minute.
The second half, obviously.
The second half here as Meikle releases Brighton. Brighton can't get there. Hoofed out by Pownley, and that's going to go for goal kick.
I'm afraid Gary Wells has just taken over your title as master of the understatement. Pressure really on the manager now, he says. That is a bigger understatement than your one.
It is, and he's welcome to take the title. And as Gwilliams is about
only
to
3 added.
Take 3 minutes, and Kettering have to save this tie and save their FA Cup season as Kennedy is beaten to it. 3 minutes goes up on the board, and Paul White urging Kettering Town to go forward. Paul White takes it forward. Kettering down to 10 men. It is Enty underneath this. He wins the header. He goes out towards Meikle on the far side. Meikle comes inside, loses the ball now, and away come the home side. Ball's put over to the number 12 Shaw. He puts it over towards Martin. He can't get there. Meikle can, and it's flicked on towards Storer, but hoofed away by Christophers. Anywhere will do. It's in the Kettering penalty area. There's a mistake. There's a penalty. That should be a penalty. Well, that was incredible. How on earth? And then there's a late foul then on Paul White, who's crocked by the number 16, Joel Powney. But Sutton should have had a penalty. And away comes Martin for Sutton. Coldfield beats Meikle to it, going out into the corner as Brighton tries to close him down. Still Martin with it. Time marching on here. 2 minutes to go if I'm added on as Brighton wins the ball back, gets it to Cartwright. Cartwright so lucky not to have given that penalty away. Hauled him down, didn't he? 100%
a
penalty. How the referee never saw that, God only knows.
He's going to look at that on the replay, I'm sure, and I don't
think referees look at replays, do they? But in comes Storer now. Storer inside the penalty area, plays it out square. A great tackle by Cristofo. just when I thought Storer was going to take a shot and pumped away to Powell, but the ball
I'd rather he
ends
shot.
up with Paul White.
I didn't want him to shoot because of the angle he was at, but I'd rather he did something. That's a foul. That'll be it.
Is about it. I think there it is. A foul which at Sutton should take all their time to get over the line here. A dismal display by Kettering in this game, and you have to say that the home side actually do deserve the victory. They've battled well, Ed, and no matter what Kettering have thrown at them, what little they've thrown at them, they've dealt with very well as the ball is pumped in towards Storer. Storer humps the ball back into the middle. Flick on. And that's offside. I thought there was a flick on there and Enty was away. But, offside.
Sulkin was offside.
Sulkin, unfortunately. Play is brought back. Mutton with it. And everybody here at Sutton waiting to embrace themselves and cheer for a memorable win by the Bet Victor side. 2 leagues below the Poppies. And that is time up, according to our watch, as Ben Mills tries to get by, but it's played to the number 12, Ryan Shaw. He plays it square to the 16, tries a long-range shot. That goes high and wide, and that's it! It's all over. Kettering Town go out of the FA Cup. They lose 2-1 to Sutton Coldfield Town, and that is Kettering's day complete. And the repercussions from this are going to be interesting, Ed. I'm not sure where we go from here, and I can honestly say that I'm dumbfounded at what I've watched tonight.
I'm afraid I can't speak because I'm not allowed to swear on the radio. That was abysmal. That's awful. That's unacceptable. It's ridiculous. It's rubbish. What more words do you want me to throw at it? And no disrespect to Sutton Coldfield, they really battled, but they are 2 leagues below Kettering. Kettering didn't force the goalkeeper into a save the second half of a game they were 2-1 down in. We've taken off a striker and replaced him with a central midfielder. We've taken off the best player on the park, second best player on the park in Marcus Kelly. We took off Luke Graham, which I can only presume is an injury, only because Vidal came on. We've left Hodge on the bench. We've left Seba on the bench. We've left, Nimley again. I really want to see what he can do.
Well, nothing obviously, because
I really want to see what he can do, but he doesn't. I was excited for Nimley's signing, but I've not seen him play.
We've not missed much, Ed. I'll give you that.
But I'm afraid that is absolutely atrocious. That is absolutely atrocious. That is a game that we should not be losing. We shouldn't be losing it at all. Absolutely
everybody,
abysmal.
all the Kettering people I can see are in despair. They can't believe what they witnessed, and I'm afraid that is it for this season. No Boston United, and Hereford on Saturday doesn't come much tougher than that.
Enjoy that, Paul. I'm not there.
Thank you very much,
unfortunately, through no fault of my own, but I'm not there, so enjoy that one. Because, anyway, league's a priority. Focus on the league. Still got the trophy. Any more cliches?
North Anstey Cup.
North Anstey, yeah, well, still in that. Kugno was a good result.
And the Sutton players getting a deserved round of applause from the Kettering fans that are still here in the main stand. But that's about it from me and Ed. We've watched a dismal night for Kettering Town as they go out of this season's FA Cup, and gives them a free Saturday, and the repercussions probably will start pretty soon. But from Ed and myself, it's good night. I'll see you on Saturday at Hereford, and we'll take the next game as it comes.